Good morning, ladies. So excited that you all are here. We're going to get started this morning. We know more may trickle in as we go, but as we do what's normal and customary here on our call, we want to make sure that we discuss our wins for the week. So, whoever wants to go first, you got 60 seconds because as you can see, we have a guest. So, go for it.
I'll go first. I usually don't. Okay. So my big win, I actually started doing my homework. So I've been posting on social media consistently every single day for the last week. And I love a lot of it actually. So I have two accounts on Instagram and Facebook. One is for personal, one is for my business side. So it's just been a lot of going back and forth, but yeah, so far so good. And then I'm getting a VA to do some of my calls for cold calling and also to help me with social media, just to like really get out there and start promoting my business.
Congratulations, Emma.
Thank you.
Anyone else?
I'll go next. I did a presentation at the chamber yesterday and had an opportunity to meet 4 new real estate investors, and a couple of them were realtors. And so that has been my goal. So a couple of them are wanting to do multifamily. So I'm increasing in that space with my contacts.
Yay!
Yes.
Congratulations, Stephanie. So we know just a couple more ladies came in. We're doing our wins for the week. You got 60 seconds. I'll start with mine too. I've been posting consistently as well, and also getting out there. I've added 10 people to my CRM, which I'm super excited about. Some are capital raisers, others are investors that are looking to be on the LP side, which is pretty cool. So those are my wins for the week. So I'm super excited about that. Anyone else?
Okay, I'll go.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, Floretta, you go, girl. Go, girl.
No, I was going to say that maybe my win is a little premature, but so I'm going to Vegas to celebrate my cousin's 57th birthday tomorrow. And so, but they don't know that we're going to have a little meeting to discuss investing. And so I'm going to slide that in there. So I'm going to put together like a little slide presentation for them while we're drinking margaritas. So I'm going to be having them join my team, whether they like it or not. So that's going to be my.
Let me tell you really quick, Floretta. I did that last year at my grand aunt's 88th birthday party, and my entire family, we raised $77,000 to invest in Dayton.
I claim it in Jesus' name.
Yes.
Wow, that is awesome. Well, can I just share you this one thing? This is not a big deal, but I don't do a lot for myself. I'll do for others, but I'm going to fly first class for the first time. And because I bought first class tickets for other people to fly, but I've never done it for myself. So I'm very proud. I'm about to cry. I'm so proud of myself to give myself something. So
that's awesome.
I'm so happy.
Enjoy.
Thank you.
Enjoy.
You deserve it.
Sonia.
Okay, my win is I was able to connect Jim Biggs with an investor here in Southern California that does an Israeli fund. So we have a call later this week to discuss how his Israeli funds, his investors from Israel can invest in properties here and invest in GOB properties. So, and GOB Inc. Properties. So I'm really proud of that one.
Yay. Congratulations, Sonia.
Thank you.
Awesome.
I'll go.
Go, Lacey.
My win this week was I got to rodeo, line dance, and capital raise. So I got to do it in my favorite place.
I love it. I love it. That's awesome. And I thoroughly enjoy seeing you online too.
Oh,
keep up that posting.
Thank you.
Jennifer, how's your property going? Your senior living care facility.
Good morning, everybody. We're making progress for sure. So we actually put our house on the market. We already got an offer, so that was really amazing. So yeah, it's all looks like we're supposed to close end of July. So we still have entities that being formed and still getting kind of final paperwork to the underwriter, because SBA just wants more and more and more. You just can't feed that fish too much. So we just keep feeding it. And so we should be good. And we're planning on, moving up hopefully end of July. So yeah, it's all coming together.
Yay, congratulations.
Thank you.
That's awesome. Well, anyone else? Because we want to make sure that we get to our speaker. So we got 60 more seconds.
Can I speak?
Yes, go for it, Nancy.
Hi, everyone. My name is Nancy Estacio. This is like my third or fourth time to join your meeting. So I haven't heard everybody's story, but learning a little bit about some of you today. I have my son with me, Robert. Say hi, Robert.
Hi, Robert.
Hi, Robert.
Hi, Robert.
So he just got back from Texas and looking at a property in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. And we spoke with the seller, and he's going to.
You broke up. I think you're on mute.
We're gonna put an offer in today. We spoke to the seller already, and he's willing to work with us. So we're gonna write up our offer and send it in today, because Robert just got back yesterday from Texas. And so hopefully we'll be able to send you guys some information if anyone is interested in investing with us. We're trying to do a small capital raise. It's a small apartment building, 12 units.
Awesome. And you're going to email that to us, right? You still have the email?
I will email. Yes, what you sent me, I'm going to send it to you.
Okay, perfect.
At gobnetwork.com.
You got it.
Okay, I will send it.
Awesome. Thank you. And what amount are you looking to raise, Nancy?
Just $1 million.
Okay. Okay. So Liba Delin, she is on right now. And I'm actually going to drop in the capital raising call that you and your son should attend this afternoon.
Okay.
Or late morning, depending upon what side of the country you're on.
Okay.
I think you're in New Jersey, right?
In New Jersey, yes.
Yeah. Okay. So 2 p.m. for you guys.
Okay.
I'll drop that in the chat, but she has funds. So pay attention to the chat. She can drop in her contact information, but connect on LinkedIn. Ladies, if you're not connected with Liba on LinkedIn, you are missing out. Make sure you connect. And then Liba has a win, and then we're going to move on to Avriel.
Hi, ladies. This is so exciting to be in an all-woman call. I love it. I love it so much. So my win is actually, we submitted an offer like a year and a half ago on this high-rise downtown Chicago. I'm in Chicago, and we got outbid, and we were not going to fight because we just did not believe it was worth what they wanted. Just so you guys know, I do conversions. I buy big commercial buildings and convert them to luxury apartments. That's what I do. And yesterday morning, the broker of the building, we thought we lost it, and we were like, fine, you know, we're always on to bigger and better. We got a call back that the sellers didn't work with the potential buyers, and it is back on the table, and we have a scheduled walkthrough for it for less than what we initially offered for it. So thank you, Sonia. Thank you, Jennifer. Thank you, guys. So I don't know what it means, if it'll happen, but this game is so much fun, and I'm just so grateful. So that's a win for me. And so I'm really excited to be on this call with you guys. And yeah, Alicia did mention I've created Capital Connections to help people like you and me find capital without just having to go to family and friends. And so yeah, definitely connect with me on LinkedIn. I'm really happy to be here.
Thank you.
And what's your name, so we could follow you on LinkedIn, your full name?
My full name is Liba Delin, and there's the only Liba Delin in the world that I know of. So here is my, oh yes, and thank you, Alicia, you're so sweet. Today I usually bring fund managers to the call. Sonia, you were on the call last time, right? I had Bobby Short on, which by the way, he's getting call after call. He has an ability to lend between 1 and 10 million on debt or equity side. And so he's been helping people out, which has been really cool. But today, we actually had a fund manager lined up, and he had an emergency come up. So I had to get a different speaker last minute. But Josh Forty is my good friend. He's spoken in front of thousands of people at conferences around the country. He is unbelievable. So I don't say this lightly. You should absolutely come. It's at 1 p.m. Central.
Yes.
So definitely we have fun, right, Alicia? Our webinars are fun.
Yes.
Yes.
I just connected with you on LinkedIn, Lorna Williams.
Okay, Lorna, I'm gonna accept that. I thank you.
And Jennifer, you will be there too, right? Cool. Great.
Awesome. Cool. So we have the simply marvelous, fabulous, wonderful Avriel DuVerney. She is a real estate visionary on the path to redefine generational wealth for investors as a 20-year veteran. Can you guys say 20 years? Because doing anything for 20 years is not the easiest, but doing it in the military, God bless you. She is highly recognized as a real estate investor. Avriel owns Stone to Stone Solutions. She's a real estate business solutions and property management agency that specializes in driving revenue growth and increasing market share through strategic analysis, partnerships, acquisition, retention, and cost development. She has a laundry list of firsts and a laundry list of successes. She is here to share this information with us. And our team is super excited to share her with you all today. We've had an opportunity to watch her grow. And if you are connected with her on social media, she has just been blessed to just really change the trajectory of several women's lives. And I'll let her share that with you. Avriel, thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you so much, Alicia. And thank you, ladies, for inviting me to the platform. So as Alicia had said, I'll give you a little background about me. My name is Avriel DuVerney. I served 20 years in the United States Air Force. After retiring from the military, I wanted to do something that I didn't have to clock in to do. And so I found myself on this journey of real estate. I seen my uncle taking care of our family using real estate. So I got intrigued with real estate. I thought he was going to be my mentor once I retired from the military. 6 months after I retired, we tragically lost him. He died. So I found myself on a whirlwind trying to just figure out how I was going to get into real estate because I still wanted to honor his legacy and just continue doing things in the family and with real estate. So I reached out to one of his partners and I said, hey, I'm Jackie Steele's niece. Is there any way that you could take me up under your wing, teach me real estate the correct way so I can actually start doing real estate myself? So he took me in. I started in Chicago and I started fixing and flipping in Chicago, did a couple of deals up there. And I said, you know what? I'm taking my talent to Texas. So I was stationed in Texas. And so I moved back down here to Texas and started my journey. Bumped my head a couple of times, lost some money along the way, but I was determined to stick it out. In this field, it's a male-dominated space. We always hear that it's really a male-dominated space, especially in the fix and flip, working with these construction guys, these contractors that think that they can just tell you how to move and what to do inside of your own projects. So I found my way inside of the Texas market. I've been successful. I've flipped up to date $2.6 million in homes. I don't hold anything right now. My thing is fix and flip and creative. Those are the strategies that I use. I'm looking to break into the multifamily asset, but I have people that are coming to me now that want to learn how to fix and flip, because as you know, the long-term play with the multifamily is different from the short-term play with the fix and flip, because what I can make in 6-8 months or a year on this side, I'm sitting over here on the multifamily side and it's holding for 5 or 6 years. But there's two different strategies. So I never want to deter anyone from what strategy they want to do. But now I'm looking to take my active income and put it over to the multifamily side. So what Alicia shared with you today is that I've been on this journey as far as a real estate investor since 2016. I formed Stone to Stone Solutions in 2019. So I did things under an entity, which was Stone by Stone. And I did that while I was learning. And so when I got to the point where I wanted to start capitalizing and making real money off of it, I created a corporation. And so that's what Stone to Stone is. And so I decided that I was going to do a conference. God has led me to do a conference this year, which is Principles Over Profit, which will be in Atlanta, Georgia, August 4th and 5th. You're probably asking, okay, you live in Texas, why are you doing it in Atlanta? So backstory, I have a business coach that had an event space in the Atlanta market. The event space got shut down 3 weeks prior. My conference was supposed to be in April. So I was so discouraged and I was like, oh my God, what am I going to do? So I ended up pushing it back to August. And so now that I'm doing the event in August, yesterday I had a prison, all women's prison, that reached out to me. And they said that they want to bring me on as an instructor inside of the prison to create curriculum for offenders that are non-offensive offenders. And so I'll be going inside the prison walls. They're going to be streaming my conference live. This is my first conference, and they are streaming my conference behind an all-female prison. I'm very, very dedicated to bringing more women inside of the field of real estate because we get overlooked, we get passed over, and I am intentional about putting women in front of these opportunities. And so we can get recognized just like the men. I have nothing against men because I have men on my team, but I know how it is working in the field, especially on the fix and flip, how it is to get overlooked. I've been on projects where men thought that the projects were my PM's project. And I walk in and I was like, no, I don't like those floors. So those floors need to be changed. Well, you need to talk to your business partner. Say, he's not my business partner, he's my PM, but I'm the owner of the business, right? So these floors need to come up. So just being in the field and just being challenged over and over again. I had conversations with Alicia before and I was like, listen, I'm putting my head down and I'm getting to work. So if I can get in there and bring women in, and like I told Alicia, that's why I was kind of late to the meeting because I'm usually here about 5 or 10 minutes early. I was on the phone with the warden. So her thing is that I want to get you in more prisons so you can bring more women inside of the prison walls so you can teach real estate, you can teach entrepreneurs, you can teach business. And so my job and what I have taken on is to bring more women inside of the prison walls to teach these women. So when they come out, they can get a second shot. They often get overlooked. And so I've had family members that were in prison. So this has been one of my passions. Giving back to veterans has also been one of my passions. Just creating jobs for individuals that are overlooked and overstepped sometimes. So that's a little bit about me. I currently have 2 flips that are going on in the Dallas area right now. I purchased them. I purchased one for $275,000. We had to put $100,000 in it. We're putting it on the market for $800,000. The next one, we purchased it for $378,000, I believe. We had to do, that was a real heavy lift. It's $160,000. And we're going to put it on the market for $900,000. It's in a historical district. So we're moving in a trajectory where we want to appeal to a certain clientele. So in the historical district, it is a headache, right? So this will be our 4th flip in the historical district, and it gets tighter and tighter with these flips. We should have been done last month with these flips, but the city came in, changed. We couldn't use the paint. We couldn't use the windows. So we had to go out and reorder everything. But even in those challenges, God still told me that you're still on the right path, right? So I just wanted to come in and I wanted to encourage you. If you had any questions, I just wanted to be a girl side chat. I didn't want any presentation. I didn't want anything formal. I wanted to come in because Alicia reached out and said that you were interested in doing something else new or finding out how fix and flip could be another added tool to your tool belt. So I just wanted to come in and I just wanted to pour whatever questions you have. I'm here to answer those questions. If there's anything else that you need me to cover, Alicia, because I told you this was going to be just a conversation. So
I think you talk just as fast as Sonia does.
Oh, really?
Yes, I love it.
Are
I
you from
love
New
it.
York? Avriel, you from New York?
I was born in New York.
That's it. We
Got
got the
move
G.
fast, we move fast, we do everything fast. We have no time. Okay? And I see Anna laughing because Anna lives here now. So it's like Christmas shopping. You run, you just everything, you're walking, everything's fast there. So
I love it.
I apologize. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to be speeding through everything.
No.
great.
It's
great.
Yes, it was
I love
great. And so let me preface this whole conversation with, even though we focus in commercial multifamily, we have some that focus on single family that do plan to, not escalate, but move into the multifamily realm, right? So how I see fix and flips is it could be done for regular commercial, retail, industrial, or it could be done for single family or multifamily. It's just how you look at it. So pretty much anything can be done, right? Some people call it subject to for single family, but in commercial, we call it, what is that? A master lease plan. So you just don't get caught up on words, learn the system, learn what's being done. And when you do that, that just kind of unleashes some ideas and your vision on how you want to do it according to your business plan. So that's why we planned, get your marketing out there, let people know what you're doing. All right, make sure you focus and you contact people. Well, the next steps is to looking at a property. And so, Avriel, when we walked last year, when we were in Texas and we were doing the walkthrough for our multifamily asset and with the storage units, we also took a look at some homes that you were interested in. And when I tell you homes, I'm saying that lightly. Some of these look like homes on the outside and they were extremely dilapidated on the inside. But she saw gold, right? And so we want to make sure that your vision is not going to be shielded by what you see, but by the potential on how you can make it. So can you speak on that?
Absolutely. But I want to touch on the marketing piece because
Yes.
a lot of times the marketing piece, we sit on the marketing piece because a lot of times we don't want to get in front of the cameras. Our hair may not be done. We don't want to do makeup. But when we come, when you're inside and you're doing this marketing, let me tell you how marketing changed my life. So I come from, I didn't want to get inside. I didn't want to get on the camera. I didn't want to do any speaking. I didn't want no videos. I want static post, static post, static post. So I hired a business coach because I'm all about investing in myself. So I hired a business coach, and this business coach would say, people want to hear your voice. They connect with the authenticity of you, of who you are before they'll even do business with you. They want to connect with you. So last year I was very intentional about I'm posting 5 times a day, 3 videos, 2 static posts every day. I'm just hitting the internet, right? 3 months, I went from, I had 1,500 people that were following me to 5,000 and I think it was 5,300 people that was following me. And so when I tell you just hitting social media and making sure that your messaging connects with the people that you're trying to attract, because everybody's not your audience. Right? So you have to attract to the people that you want to do business with. So the people that I wanted to do business with, I start messaging towards them. So going back, so Alicia, you asked me about the visionary when I walk into a house, the vision that when I walk into a house. So you have to have an eye. It formed, right? So it wasn't like I walked into a house and I automatically said, hey, I want the living room here. I want to remove this wall. I want to do an open floor concept. That came over time. So as I now walk into homes, and I remember like it was yesterday, me and Lisa would walk on, she'd say, oh my God, why would you want to come in here? And I was like, this is gold. This is gold. This is the stuff that I like, right? So I like the challenge of getting in there and turning something that's distressed into a home for someone, right? So like Sometimes you can't see the vision walking into the home, but I want you to start thinking about what does this look like for someone, not you, not what you would live in, right? Because most of these homes I wouldn't live in. Even after I flip them, I still wouldn't live in them because it's just not what I'm looking for. But I look for what the market tells me is selling at this time. In the historical area, we didn't want to put granite all through the house. We didn't want to put all of these storages, but what was selling in that area and what we wanted to get offered, we had to look at the market, and the market was telling us what we needed. So when I look at things like that, that's what I'm looking at. I'm doing market research. I think y'all do market research on the commercial side. So I'm doing market research. I'm talking to realtors to see what's selling in the area, because I don't want my home, after I fix it, I don't want it sitting on market. The 2 homes that I have right now in the historical district, we have offer on those homes already. They're not even done. But it's because of marketing. My realtor gets out here and she hits the pavement, marketing to people that want to live in that area. So we build a CRM going into our second phase of the flip. We build a CRM, we get people interested, we get people hyped up, we start sending them newsletters, we keep them engaged on what's going on. So we're not in a bidding war. Right now, we have 2 over asking prices for our flips, and we're not even done.
That is awesome. That's awesome.
That is fantastic. And you say most of the jobs you're doing are in the Texas market? Most of the properties are in the Texas market?
Yes, so we're in Texas, and we're tapping into Florida now. I just came back from Florida. I spent a week out there with a realtor walking land because we're looking to build also. So we're moving into the new build phase. We have some capital partners that have came in, and they're pushing us, right? So they want to deploy capital. So we're going into a different market. And so Florida is one of the markets that I really and truly want to be in. So I went down there and spent a week down there, kind of like Florida. So mostly in the Orlando area, Port Lucie, because those are the growing areas that we want to be in. So we try to typically stay in a growing area where we know that we could potentially get the money that we want to after we actually finish the project. So those are the 2 markets right now.
Avriel, when you, first of all, you're so impressive. So thank you for sharing.
Thank
when
you.
you go into a new area like that, and when you first got started, how are you going about to get reliable, dependable crew to do the fixes for you?
Okay, so what I do is that I went and spent a week in Florida. And so what I did is I started, before I even got there, I started building relationships with realtors. And so I went to those realtors and I said, hey, send me some information about yourself. I want to just learn a little more about you. I'm really relying on referrals when it comes to a new market. So then I worked with this realtor. I've seen some of the things that he sells. He's been a top seller in his brokerage for the last 3 years. So I know he's doing something right? So he introduced me to a couple of contractors. And so on all of my projects, I always have a PM. People don't want to spend extra money, but PMs will save you a life. So PM is
what is a PM?
Project manager.
Okay, thank you.
It's a project manager. That project manager will be the direct connection between me and the project and the GC. So that project manager, he or she, I'm trying to find more female project managers because I'm a project manager also, but I'm trying to find more female project managers. They will make sure that that project gets from A to Z. If there's anything that goes wrong in that project, they're communicating directly to me. What I found is that when I'm working directly with a GC sometimes can be like, and a GC is a general contractor. So with the GC, sometimes they can get a wild hair and they can leave, right? So if I'm not present there on site, a GC can do whatever they want to do. So what I found out is I take a little extra money and I hire a PM, and my PM sits on site at all times. So he or she will make sure that that project moves. So if we're in phase 1, where all of our rough ends, our mechanical going in, which means that our plumbing, bless you, our plumbing and our electrical and our HVAC and our roofer, those are my big heavy tickets that I get done up front. And I never want each trade on site at the same time. So if the plumber's in the house, the HVAC guy can't be in the house, the roofer can be outside, but that's not a problem, right? So that PM is going to make sure that my HVAC is completely done and rough in is set up for inspection. Then my plumber comes in, and then my HVAC comes in, and then the electrical comes in. So that PM sits there. So to build a team, I sat down with 3 of the contractors that he brought to the table, and I interviewed them. I wanted them to bring me their portfolio. I asked them to bring me a portfolio with them, which means included their bio. I wanted their history. I wanted a little bit of their financials, because I always want to know if you're in financial trouble, because if you're in financial trouble, that means that you're going to steal from me, and I don't want to deal with you. So I'm always asking them. And so one of the contractors said, well, what you need to see my financials for? I said, I need to make sure you're not in financial trouble. And if you don't want to provide your financials, then we are not a fit for you. Right? So I want to see at least 2 months of financial, because I want to make sure that they're structured correctly. I want to make sure that they're not misusing funds, and I want to make sure that they're not taking somebody else's funds and trying to take my funds and then use it for another project. So I always ask them for financials. So I sit down with them, I go through their portfolio, I ask them on the spot for their references. I don't ask them prior to the meeting, because I don't want you to get a chance to go and talk to your reference. I want you to give me references right here on the spot that you've done projects for. And if they had a project that they were working on, I want to go and look at it. So 2 of the contractors had projects where their team was working on it. So I was able to walk those. The other one, he didn't have anything. But I asked them for references right on the spot. I call their references. I asked them, do they have a relationship with John Doe? How long had you worked with John Doe? What work did John Doe do for you? How pleased were you? What problems did you have with John Doe? With him sitting right there in front of me. Because what I don't want is you to get a chance to go and talk to your reference and then, hey, I'm trying to get this job. I need you to give them the best reference. I know I ain't doing such a good job for you, but people do that. These contractors are slick out here. So one of the contractors told me, he said, man, you're a tough cookie. I was like, yeah, I don't play when it comes to my projects, right? Because I'm in Texas. And so I'm going to be dependent on someone that I've worked with before, but no one takes care of your money like you take care of your money. And I also have investors that believe in me. So I have to make sure that I'm protecting my investors' money also.
So how do
I build a relationship?
That's excellent. How do you structure your opportunities? Because I know that you said that you have investors. When you find a property that needs work, how are you estimating what your return is going to be? How do you address your investors to collect the funds in order to purchase and do the project?
So when I originally walked the project, I'm having all of my specialists go with me. So my HVAC is going, because I'm not an HVAC. So I have all of them walk with me: HVAC, electrician, roofer, and plumber. So those are the guys that I walk with. The drywall and all of that, my general contractor can walk with me. But because I've been doing this for a while, I kind of know the numbers of how many walls, how much sheetrock is going to cost me with the floors. So I don't really need a general contractor. But all of my big mechanical guys, they're going to walk with me. And so we're going to walk through this project, and we're going to look at everything that's going on with this project. So we walk through here, they give me what it's going to come back at. They've been working with me for a while, so I kind of know the numbers, but I never want to get too comfortable where I go out here and I say, oh, HVAC, it looks like it's working, and I cut it on and it's working. I don't know if the ducts need to be cleaned, because I'm not going up in there. So I don't know if the ducts need to be cleaned. I don't know if anything is going on mechanically for it. So I'm always going to walk with my specialist. A lot of people say, hey, that's not even worth the money. It is for me. Because again, I'm not using just my money. I'm bringing in investors, and they believe in me and they trust me. So I can't take a guess at those. So I'm walking it with them. We do a scope of work. I go back to them. I present them with an opportunity. This opportunity is what I call an investor package. So I build a whole entire investor package. It has everything on it. They can see from the contractor. So they can say, oh, I didn't just make this up. So it comes from the contractor, which is the scope of work. I also get a CMA that comes from my realtor, and she puts in, and I build this package, and I send this off to my network, and I say, here's an opportunity. Let me know who wants to be a part of this. So most of them, I'll have 2 or 3 sitting on the acquisition side, and I'll have 2 or 3 sitting on the construction side. I don't even need hard money right now. I have people that believe in me, and they fund my deals. right? So I don't have to pay holding costs, which means that every month I'm paying a mortgage. I don't have to pay that. So at my closing, all I'm paying is the acquisition and then the title fees, and then the construction is given to me in draws. So when the first phase is done, the draw come in, because we have to take money to start the project. So my investors don't give me money to start the project. So what I mean by starting the project is gutting it out, going in, cleaning it out, ordering the dumpsters, starting the landscape. They don't give me money for that. So I have to take money up front. So I always have 10 to 20,000 sitting somewhere so I can get the project started. Once I get the project started, I send them pictures, I send them videos, I send them what has been done. They send me a draw. With that draw, I then do my mechanical stuff, HVAC, plumbing, electrician, roof. After that's done, I'll send them another request for another draw. They send me another draw. So that's how I actually get people that want to invest with me, but they've seen me do this for a while. I had to use hard money for 6 months before anybody wanted to give me any money. So I had to put in the work first before someone's like, yeah, I'll give you $100,000. I had to do.
Love it. Floretta has a question.
Okay, yes. First of all, thank you so much, Avriel. This is extremely, extremely helpful information. I just had a couple questions for you. First of all, and they may not be in proper order, so just bear with me. I was just jotting down some questions as you were speaking.
Okay.
So one of the first questions I wrote down is you had mentioned about having a property, a project manager. Is there a general like range that you pay for that service? What is that?
So it depends. So for my project manager that is doing my flips for the historical district, I'm paying them a little more, only because they're doing a little more work on those projects, because they're dealing with the city more. They're dealing with going back and forth with picking up material, picking up paint. So I'm paying them a little more. So that project management fee, I'm paying them $30,000.
Okay. Okay. Fair enough. Okay.
Now my normal project management fees would range between $10,000 to $15,000 for the project. And then at the end, I would give them 10% on top of the sale of the house. So my project manager gets paid up, he or she gets paid up front. And then on the back end, after we sell the house, if we get all green tags, we don't fail anything, because that's their job. If we get all green tags, we don't fail anything, then they get more on the back end.
Okay. Okay. That's good to know. So taking a step back, because this is something that I would like to do, is the first part of the process is to create your team? Is that how you, like taking like just starting first day, is the first phase, is it to start making contacts, creating teams, or is it capital raising before you even begin your team? What did you do first, or did you do them simultaneously?
So when I first started, I didn't really have a team. So for me, when I started in Texas, what I did was I got with a realtor. And I started building off of my realtor. So Shamika, I've been with Shamika for 4 years now. She was the one that helped me as far as building the team in Texas. But the one in Chicago was already built when I got there. So I think if you're just starting out, I think learning the business as it comes to fix and flip, because you can go out here and build a team, but if you don't know the business, there's no reason to have a team.
Okay.
So learning the business as it goes for the fix and flip, right? Learning what the permits, what's the permit time, who are the city officials that you need to get involved with, because they are going to be who makes you or break you. You got to get involved with the city officials. So I go to the city meeting, I go to the town hall meetings, I go to the urban development meetings, because I'm going to build relationships with these individuals, because when they see my permits come across the desk with my name on it, I don't want them to sit on it.
And you do this even though you live in Texas and you're buying in Atlanta?
Absolutely.
Okay.
You have to build, the city can make or break you when it comes to your flips. It is important to build relationships with the city. No ifs and buts about it.
For any real estate activity.
Yes. Because they can make it so difficult for you that you can't even get your flip past the permitting.
Okay.
Right? And so when you go out here, because when you start borrowing money, you owe your investors or your hard money lender, you owe them an explanation of why your project is not moving. So if you get a work stoppage and you don't have nobody that you can go to the city and talk to, you're like, what am I supposed to do now? And learn the business, whatever city you're going to be doing it in, learn the business. Right? And once you learn the business, then you can start creating teams and everything. Everybody that I'm working with, right? I tell them, I say, let's learn the business first. Once you learn the business, going and creating the teams, we can help you build the teams. We can even help you get the capital, right? But I want you to learn the business, because when you go off and do this on your own, I want you to be able to flip successfully, and I don't want you to have a headache. Now, everything's not going to be successful, right? You're going to have some brick walls that you run into, like the ones I just told you. Our first 2 in the historical district, oh, it was fine. It was fine. We went through it with ease. Like the permit process was a little longer because that was our first time being in historical, but this time the permit process went good. But now the material and the paint and all of this, now they're giving us hassle about this. So every project is going to be different, but just learn the ins and out of fixing and flipping before you go out here and start building a team.
And I'm sorry, I'll ask you one more question, then I'll let someone else jump in. One of the other things you had mentioned regarding the reviewing the contracts of the contractors, you stated to get their financials. And when you say get their financials, are you saying, for example, I use QuickBooks. Are you asking them to print out their QuickBooks report showing how much money they have? Is that what you're looking? I wanted to get a little bit more detail relative to when you say financials, what does that really represent?
Absolutely. So I want to see their construction account. I don't want an account. I want to see their construction account, how they're operating their construction costs, because that's going to tell me how you're going to operate my project. And you're going to get a lot of people that's going to frown and be like, I'm not giving you my finance. Well, I'm just not a fit for you then. Right. What I have found, and right now I'm in court with one of my friends because of this. She lent out money to an individual and they hired a team. And so now this construction guy took her money, $60,000, took her money and used it for a wedding.
See, my philosophy is always follow the money, because this is key right here. This here, I'm going to put this on my whiteboard because this is gold right here.
Yes,
that is
gold.
Yeah. Always ask them for at least 2 to 3 months.
Okay.
Hey, I'm not trying to be invasive. I just want to know that I want to make sure that I'm working with someone that has good money management.
Right.
You're ethical about what you're doing, because I've had problems in the past. And so I just want to make sure that everybody's on the up and up, because you know that I have the money, because I'm showing you I have the money, because I can show him that I have the money. Right. So I do a snippet of my construction budget and I show him I have the money, but I need to make sure that you can deliver.
Amen.
Can I add a comment to that? Because I think you're just so freaking phenomenal. Like, you're amazing. I think that when you ask someone for their financials, you can also go a step further. A lot of these guys that do construction, that is what they do. They don't do development. And I think a lot of, especially if you're newer, if I was to start over, mind you, I've done a lot of flips. I actually am in a house that I flipped I was 8 months pregnant. I had nowhere to live. We had just sold our last house to purchase. It'll pass 7 buildings. My story's a little weird. Alicia knows it. But I'm in a house that I flipped in 30 days. Because I knew all of my material and everything. But if I had to do it again and I had to start over and I was strapped for cash, or I didn't know the process of the business, these guys that do construction offer, this is my opinion, not everyone has to do it, but if I had to start over, I would give them a slice of the pie so that they were invested in the project. And because they are in construction, they're not out hunting deals and looking for more. You can start creating a team. And I actually met a woman who now has 200 million of assets under management. I think she's been in the game for something like 5 years, because she was like, I'm a really good connector, but I can't find properties and I don't know construction. So, hey, I'll raise capital. You're a construction company and you're a finance guy. We're all going to become best friends and work together. So I don't know what your thoughts on that are, but I think if anyone here is on the call and they're like, I'm scared, this is a big deposit, why don't you find someone who maybe is a smaller person, start with a smaller project and be like, listen, if this works well, I'll give you X of the sale or X of the rental income. And a lot of these guys ask me now that work for me, like, hey, can we get in on your deals? No, not right now. But if I had to start over, I think I would do that. And I think you are so amazing.
Thank you. Well, because I have investors that are on the team with me that lend for me, that wouldn't be a great fit for me, right? Because now I'm giving
Right, for you, right.
Yeah, I'm giving out too much.
Right.
But for me, I just think that construction guys, I'm contractors, I'm not about giving them a portion of my deals. Only because those guys eat good, right? So they mark up the prices anyway on the back end.
But they'll lower it. They'll lower it.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I once people started telling me like, hey, what if I get in on this project? I'm like, then what would you do at cost? And I started seeing what their at cost was. Now, mind you, we own a GC company too. And that's why I'm just mentioning, I don't know everyone on this call. I don't know where everyone is at, if they're starting with their first project or they're on their 30th. But I was just thinking like about everyone on the call. Like if there is someone, if I were to start over, I think I would start over. And I wasn't a GC and I didn't have project management experience. I think I would start over like that. That was just 2 cents that I wanted to add. But I love your philosophy, and I'm adopting like 80% of whatever you're saying right now. I'm going to start demanding financials. Like,
listen, I will say really quick, and then Anna has a question, is on the financials respect. What I used to do is I would ask them for not just their financials, so you know, their profit and loss statement, but I would ask them for 3 months of a copy of their business statements from the bank. And I say that I do this for all new contractors for the same reasons that you said. So many times they will, sometimes they won't, but just like you said, okay, well then I choose not to do business with you. But that's how you can make sure their numbers are not made up, but they do have them there. Go for it, Anna.
Yeah, thank you. So yeah, Levi, it's really good to hear what you just said, because that's actually what I'm trying to do, is to work with the GC locally in Connecticut. And that's how we are trying to structure potential deals. It's just 50-50. That way he has a piece of basically skin in the game. So it just, yeah, definitely apps up that trust component. Avriel, I feel like you're my spirit animal. I'm also a fellow a veteran. I am in New York right now, and I just love what you're doing. Oh my gosh, so much good information. I'm so impressed, and I just want to be like you when I grow up with the fix and flips.
Well, thank you very much. If you're looking for a GC, I have some connections in Connecticut. I can definitely connect you with a GC that has really been out here getting it, and we served in the military together, so I can definitely make that connection for you.
Oh, that would be awesome. That would be awesome. Yeah, because like I said, I have a potential partner, but he has a ton of things going on. He's actually doing a development in New Haven, so we're still kind of like just, you know, feeling our parts in the process. So yeah.
Okay. I will definitely make that connection. I will send that information to Alicia for you. Or are you on LinkedIn, Anna?
Yep, we just connected. I think I just started following you on LinkedIn.
Okay. Okay, perfect. Okay, so I'll definitely I'll send you that information.
That would be awesome. Just a couple of like I guess more like strategic questions. Going back to your social media growth, what exactly did you do and where? Did you do mostly posts or outreach messages? Like how were you able to grow your social media presence that amazingly quickly?
So what I did was I started posting 5 times a day. So I was doing 3 videos and 2 static posts a day. So I posted everywhere. I posted on TikTok. Like if you're not on TikTok, listen, that's where the growth, that's where your people are on TikTok, right? People like, oh, a dancing app. I don't dance on TikTok. I talk business on TikTok. So TikTok was platforms that I use. TikTok brought me 3 large investors.
Oh, wow.
3 large investors. TikTok. Yeah.
That's interesting. Oh, wow. Okay. Definitely looking into it now. Because I was thinking Instagram is like, yeah, that's where people like really go for content. But man, that's good to know.
I posted on Instagram, also Facebook. I really hit hard on Facebook. That's where my largest audience is. That's where most of my private investors are. This is where they can see everything. So I post everything being on Facebook. So because almost all of my private investors are on Facebook. I also post on LinkedIn. I also use, you will not believe it, Pinterest. I do pins. So I do pins and I just drop little quotes in for pins, maybe once or twice a week. I got a Wall Street investor off of Pinterest.
Wow. You never know, huh? You never know.
So I'm telling you, all of these things, I do a little bit on Twitter. I don't do much on Twitter, but I'm telling you, you have to post everywhere.
Yeah.
People need to be able to see you. I got this opportunity for the prison because of Pinterest. People thought it was because of LinkedIn. It wasn't. It was because of Pinterest. That's where she found me.
Wow. That's incredible.
Yeah, I think they approve more of the Pinterest activities in those areas.
Yeah, it's good to know. For Facebook and Instagram, do you use like a company account, business account, or just your personal account, or both?
I use my personal account because what I noticed is that people connected with Avriel, they didn't really connect with the business too much, right? What my business coach taught me is that if they don't connect with you and they don't like you, they're not going to do business. So build your personal brand and let your personal brand fund your business. And that's what I did. So I built Avriel, and then it funds Stone to Stone Solutions.
Got it.
What I also noticed too on from Avriel's, because I was able to watch her from before all the polished stuff started to come out, and she's always been very polished, so don't get me wrong, but you can see the transition, the business logo, her name logo. So a lot of folks that brand themselves, those are the ones that have the longevity in this type of industry. So not only do you brand your business, but you got to brand yourself. But the professional photos, the consistency. So with consistency, that gets your numbers up in all of those social media platforms so that more people can see you. And the consistency of your posts, it'll look like you're posting multiple times a day because you're coming up in different feeds. And then make sure that what you post, or if you hire someone to post for you, the various tags of the professionals or industries that you're trying to use, that goes a long way as well.
And I also meant to say that I do YouTube shorts. YouTube is a place where everybody goes also. So all of these places, but of course YouTube is videos. So all of these places I'm posting every day. So it's a cycle for me. And so I had to bring someone on to actually help me with all of this posting. And so I batch all of my content on Sunday. I sit down throughout the week. I'm looking for different things that I can do. And so I had, she's a creative. Well, she calls a creative stylist or something like that. So she helps me think of things that I need to post, right? So she does a lot of my market research. She looks to go and say, hey, this is trending. Hey, maybe this sound we need to use is trending. And so she looks for things because she knows I don't have time. So she looks for things to post, and she sends me all of my batch stuff on Friday and say, hey, this is the stuff we need to batch. This is the stuff we need to do. And on Sunday, I sit down, I do all my videos, put a little piece of makeup on, as my mom would say, you got a piece of makeup on, put a little piece of makeup on. I batch all of my material on Sunday, and then I schedule it. So the only thing that I can't schedule is my videos and my reels. I can't schedule those because Facebook doesn't allow me to schedule those, but everything else I schedule and it goes out. So I don't have to do it. It's already scheduled, so it automatically goes out. One of the other things is like when you're first posting something on social media, what I'm learning is that your first 5 to 6 comments, you need to post on them immediately, as soon as they're posted. So most of the time I would just post and then I'll just walk away. My business coach was like, no, because he's inside of Facebook, of the platform. So they're looking at the algorithm. Facebook creators are saying, hey, if you sit and you post, once you post, wait 4 or 5 seconds, like your post, and then the first 4 or 5 comments that's on there, make sure you're replying back to them because it jumps you into the algorithm, right?
Oh,
So
wow.
that can get you inside of the algorithm also, so people now can start seeing your stuff. So even if you're not posting as much as I post, because I post like 5 times a day, and I'm about to increase it next month. I'm going up to 7. But because I steadily want to stay in somebody's face because I got a conference going on, so I'm trying to sell this conference out. So I'm going to constantly be in people's face, and people like, oh my God, I didn't even know you were having a conference. Some people not even seeing my posts, right? So although I'm posting 7 times, everybody's not seeing the same post, but I'm trying to stay in the algorithm. Once you stay in the algorithm, then you'll start seeing more engagement, and then your social media starts growing. I've not ran any ads. Everything that I have done has been organic. Everything.
Oh, wow.
Once I start putting some money behind this, yeah, it's going to be over.
Yeah, that's amazing. Thank you so much. Another quick question. I know there's a few more questions, but I just wanted to ask one more about there. Initially, when you started fix and flipping, were you able to like on your own kind of like figure out the vision for how it's gonna like go, what it's gonna look like, finishes and all that, or did you have someone help you initially to design it the way it makes sense?
So my
It
first
actually looks good.
My first 4 flips, I had somebody help me design it because I couldn't see the vision, right? So I continued to walk in the house and I started to see the vision. I was like, oh, okay. And what that business coach did for me, or he was my fix and flip coach. What he did for me is that he challenged me now to go inside, walk inside in homes. And I'll be like, oh yeah, I would remove that wall because I would do some open floor concept. So he's got me to thinking about how I would design homes. So I just started walking into, if there was an open house, I'll start walking into the open house. People think, oh, you come looking for a house? Oh yeah, I just wanted to come and look around. So I would go inside of these homes just to see what I would change inside of the home, right? So I just started going in, and then I started calling individuals because I use PropStream, batch leads. These are my lead sources on the investment side. So batch leads and PropStreams are things that I use. And so I started building my list. So I started looking for pre-foreclosures. I started looking for high vacancy homes, someone or tired landlords, because I wanted somebody that was interested in selling. And then I would start building a relationship with them. Then I would go walk their house to see what could I change in this house, right? So I just started doing more work so I could get a visual of what I wanted to do once I walk into my own home. So that's how I started.
Got it. Thank you.
So I know that we're coming up on time. We have about 3 more folks with questions.
I'm fine, Alicia.
Okay. Thank you so much.
No problem. I'm fine.
If y'all have to drop off, we'll post the replay later. Jasmine, go for it.
On my mute button. So I'm gonna have to catch the replay because I think I missed some of everything. but definitely appreciate you being here. I just finished our first flip. So typically I do wholesaling. And so, this is kind of like the next phase of that. And one of the things that Hey,
okay, girl, you said wholesale and this ringing to my ears. Okay, let's
have yeah. So typically we wholesale, and just like what you were saying, as far as the lead types you're going for, this one was actually a foreclosure. We're partnering with the owner in that they were going through foreclosure. We had him sign the deed over to us. We paid him to relocate, and then we paid the loan to make it current. And then we just went from there. So every month, we'll pay the mortgage on it and pay the light bills and all those things. And then at the end of the project, we're going to sell the project. We actually have it under contract now. Hopefully the lady, it's kind of contingent on her selling her house and then she'll buy this house type of situation. She has it under contract. It's due to close on the 7th, but we do have a backup offer if that does not go through. But anyway, at the end of it, we're going to be splitting the profit with him. So after all of our expenses and all of those things, we'll give him 25%. So he's going to get like a $10,000 check. And at the end, because part of our expenses are included, we're going to make about $54,000 on it. So that's kind of good for our first flip, right? My question is, when you're dealing with the contractors, so technically my husband was like the project manager, right? Though you said that you were project manager, that's my background. So the way that I do things is a bit different. And one of the things is kind of like coaching him through having regular communication, like, hey, if he's doing this or not doing this, like you need to kind of be there and kind of follow up with that. But one of the problems that we had with our project, which luckily because there was the margins were not so tight, it was not that big of a deal, but I do want to kind of prevent it for the future, is dealing with the timeline. So if the contractor said, okay, we'll get it done in about a month, I'm like, all right, that's not going to happen. So I'll add on a couple weeks. So I expected about a month and a half, and now it's close to probably 3.5 months, that he's kind of done. There's still like some punch list items. He was there last week having to, because we had an inspector go through, there were some changes they had to make to like the water heater and things of that nature. But there's still all of these little fine tuning little things that still need to happen. So what is the way that you kind of manage that as far as, expectations? I think I had heard someone else who said that they either pay the contractor in it for every day they get done early, or they charge them for every day late, that type of situation, or is that kind of laid out in your contract? That's kind of what I'm curious about.
So I always have a project manager on site just because of this reason right here that you're dealing with, right? GCs do whatever they want to do, right? When there's nobody there managing a GC has the freedom to do what they want. So I have a project manager. I have a contract with my project manager. My project manager knows that I have this deal. I have a timeline. I have a strict timeline. This timeline has to be met. So for phase 1, 2, and 3, the project manager knows what that phase is. So I have a contract with him. I have a contract also with the GC. So the GC is, if you show up late to my project one time, that's a $500 fine. The second time you show up to my project, you're terminated. I don't play with GCs, right? If I get a red tag on my project, that's a $500 fine. If I fail, you're terminated. If I don't meet my timeline for my project being completed, you're penalized $5,000. If I meet my timeline, then you will be gifted the $5,000. You get an extra $5,000. So you have to put things in the contract with your GCs to make them move and to make them not want to sit on your. But my GCs don't have free reign on my projects. My project manager is there to make sure it gets to the finish line, but they're rewarded if they do right, and then there are consequences if they don't. Most of them, when they see my contract, they be like, yeah, nah, I'm good. Yeah, nah, we ain't gonna be late. We're gonna make sure we have everything we need. And they're always getting with my project manager, hey, listen, plumbing is going in on Thursday. It could be Monday. Plumbing is going in on Thursday. We need that plumbing here. Avriel don't play, right? So you have to show them that you're in control of the site. They don't run the site. You have to show them you control your site.
Cool. And so your project manager, are they on site every day? Is it like a weekly meeting? My project manager
is on site every day.
So what I think with what you're saying, we may need to have a different person be the project manager, because I don't think he wants to be on site every day. And so I was thinking at the time, I was like, okay, well, if we at least have a weekly meeting, review what was done last week, what they told us what they were going to do versus what they did, and then kind of lay out the plan for this week with what they plan on doing, that should be at least enough to keep them on track. Because I think part of it was really not really mentioning the deadline very often. So I don't know, like sometimes, time kind of gets away from you and you really feel like you're doing okay. But then when you start looking at the actual like KPIs of where you said that you would be versus where you are, it's like, I'm way off. And I don't think that realization is there. And I think the way that my husband operates is he feels as though people should do their job, which is, everyone would expect that is the case, but that is just not the case. And so I think more so in what it is that I deal with, like I see, like there's a lot of, hand holding. Some people, they're good at doing the business, but not actually being a business, or doing the work, but not actually being a business. So there's just different things. So I think, this was helpful. Appreciate it.
No problem. So where's your project?
It's in Mobile, Alabama.
Okay, it's in Mobile, Alabama. Okay, and so your husband is the project manager, or he hired somebody to be a project manager?
Oh, no, we hired him to be the project manager, hired my husband to be the project manager, but he's not project managing, right? So on our next project, he will not be the project manager, is what I gathered from this conversation, because he does not want to be there every day, right? So.
Is it, but Jasmine, is it that he don't want to be there, or he don't know what the requirements are to be? Because a lot of people, you can tell them and you can push them into a position, but if they don't really know what they're actually doing in that position, it could be taken as that they don't want to be there, but it may be they just need a little coaching to tell them, hey, this is what needs to be done. These are the timelines that need to be met. This is what this is how it looks. So he may not want to be there. It may he really know.
You're right, and it could be that because like he is an electrical engineer by design, so he does design work, right? And so when he was there and he was there every day, he was actually doing work. So we couldn't find anyone that wanted to do the yard work. So he was out there for the first 2 weeks because he was doing the work out in the yard. But then when he had nothing to do, like, I don't think he just wants to kind of sit there and watch people do things, right? So if there's other things that need to be done, he definitely wouldn't mind being there, but he doesn't feel the need to just go there to like watch people do their work.
So if he does design work, why can't that be a twofold position? Right. So he can be project manager and he can be design.
Well, yeah. So in this project, we didn't really redo any of the lighting or anything of that nature. Well, we did the actual fixtures. We changed it, but it wasn't like a full gut rehab. It was something to where, we just really redid the flooring, redid the painting, got a new water heater, we gutted the bathrooms. So those were some things that were actually redone, but there wasn't really any kind of like design work that he would typically do. But I don't know, like what do they typically do out there as a project manager, I guess.
Oh, so my project manager, he's twofold because he does design too, right? Mm-hmm. So he does design, but because I have multiple projects that he's running between, it's not just one that he's sitting on. We have multiple projects that he's running to. So to actually manage. So we depend on him for a lot. He also do store runs, right? If there's if we run out of sheetrock, he's going to the store to pick up more sheetrock. So he's constantly engaged with our projects. And so I don't know. I think that's interesting, because if your husband is a design, and because he redesigned the bathroom, because if you had to do the layout for the bathroom, it called for a redesign, or did y'all just put stuff back in there?
Oh yeah, we just kind of put stuff back where it was. We didn't like redesign it all. We just kind of upgraded it all. That's okay. It. It wasn't so there's like a new tub and toilet and vanity, that type of thing, but they all went into their same space.
Yeah. Things. Yeah. So the project manager, he or she's going to be crucial to the project.
Yeah, and keeping that timeline. So cool. Well, I appreciate your time. This was great.
No problem.
Yeah, Neil.
Hello. Thank you for all the information.
Uh-oh, you're breaking up. Yeah, now.
Oh, can you hear me?
Yes, you gotta stay still.
Okay, sorry, I'm multitasking. I'm in training today and I had in my head not good communication with the headphones. But I wanted to ask, when you're walking with your contractors, do you hire 2 or 3 contractors to do the walkthrough at the same time? Or do you just have one contractor that you're currently working with or have worked with in the past and you just do it? And if so, would you have the 2 or 3 contractors show up at the same time, or would you just have one at a time for the meetings?
So what I do is I build relationships with the contractors prior to getting a project. So I vet my contractors prior to the project on which contractor I'm going to use. I never have 3 contractors walk on a project at the same time, because what you want is another contractor hearing what another contractor may be offering you.
Okay.
So you vet your contractors prior to taking them on site. And then if you want to walk the project with all 3, You also have to be mindful that to get access to some of these houses that you're flipping, to get access 3 times, most of these homeowners don't want to do that. So if you're going to get 3 contractors to walk it, you need to make sure that you can spread out these contractors to walk them all the same day, and that you're not asking the homeowner to get access to their property 3 times to take 3 different contractors.
Do you also ask them to provide you a breakdown of the scope of work that they're looking to get done on that property, or you provide the scope of work for them for what you want to get done?
No, we walk the project and they tell me what needs to be done, right? I already know back of my mind what needs to be done, but I'm looking to see if they're going to tell me what things need to be done. So, but most of my general contractors, I have a general contractor that I work with now, so I don't really do a lot of hiring for general contractors because I have 2 or 3 that I've built relationship with, and I just use them in rotation. But when you're first starting out, you want to make sure that you know what your project is called for, because you are the owner of that project. So the contractor, you can't the contractors, and this is why I kept saying that it's so important to know the business, because you can't lean on the contractors, because the contractors will take full advantage of you because they know that you don't. So they'll come in and tell you, hey, this wall needs to be knocked out, and the wall may not even be knocked out. So you getting the education and learning the business, now when in the back of your mind, when you hire these contractors, you know what to ask them. How much is it to move the wall? Is this a load bearing wall? Right? So if you do sheetrock all through here, what is the cost for the sheetrock? Like when I first started this job, people were telling me this guy was going to charge me $4 to lay tile. Right? I went around the corner, I was walking in another house, and I found his same crew laying tile for $1.26. You know why? Because I didn't know how much it was to lay tile. You got to learn the business. You got to learn the numbers. You got to learn how to tell these contractors what you're not going to pay and what you will pay.
Yeah. So I did 1 flip, and I've also renovated Airbnbs from scratch, like walk into blank space and renovate it for ourselves and for other clients. But I've always had issues with contractors and permitting. So that's why I was asking that question, because I'm trying to figure out how I can find a good contractor to continue working with. And I do have project management background, so I know what I want when I go in there, but I'm also always getting one price. They start the job, they take up price a lot of times. And I did but what I do like is that you also have liquidated damages in your contracts, whereas if they don't finish at a certain time, you charge them extra. We do that on the commercial side, but I never thought to do that on the residential side, so I like that. And can I ask, would you mind sharing like one of the contracts that you issued? The contract? Is that something that you would mind sharing?
So you're talking about with my, to have my contractor sign?
Yeah, to have your contractor sign.
Yeah.
I just want to see some of the information.
I can send it to Alicia.
Thank you so much. I just want to see some of the information that you put in there, because on the commercial side, like for my 9 to 5, we actually have some of those things in there, but I don't know how far I can go on the residential side in terms of what I can and, cannot use in the contract. That's why I was asking that question.
Yeah, I don't know if it will vary for each state because my attorney typed these up. So it may vary from each state. So I would definitely say, I would caveat this with saying, make sure you get legal advice also before you start playing around with contracts, because they're binding contracts. So you don't want to get yourself in trouble either. I'm in Texas. So my attorney typed these up for me, and these are what I use in Texas. So when I moved, when we started flipping in Florida, he told me the verbiage has to change in Florida. So we have to shift some of the language that we use in Florida. So it just depends on what state you're in. So I need to caveat that. So if I use some of this language, Avriel's not going to be held liable for it. So I need to let me back up. Let me ask my attorney first, right? Before I agree to this, let me ask my attorney first, and then I will let Alicia know.
Okay, no, that's fine. I haven't looked over for the states that I'm working in as well. I just wanted to see some of the language and verbiage that you use there to get them to actually follow the contractual terms of deadlines and things like that and the schedule, because as we all know in projects, the more they push the deadline, that's more money that's being, is costing the budget, because sometimes it's just, you're paying for holding fees and the loans that's on the project and all of that. So if they don't get their stuff done on time, you're spending more money on the project that is unnecessary. So I just wanted to know like some of the other things that I can add to the contract to make sure those mistakes don't happen again.
Yeah, but the contract is just the binding documents though, right? Your project manager is what's going to move it along, and you as the owner and the owner of the project is what's going to move it along. You have to check on your project. You can't leave it in somebody else's hand. So when you see it's coming close to the timeline where this project is not being done the way it's supposed to be done, that's where you step in and say, hey, this was the timeline. This is the contract that you guys signed, that you said that you were going to follow. Like each phase, my guys they're signing if there's any change orders, they're signing change order paperwork. You have to be responsible for your project. So there's no reason why a project should be delayed if you are taking care of your project, right? I go to my project every week. Although I got a project manager on it, I'm still at my project every week because it's my responsibility to make sure this project gets to the finish line.
Yeah, no, that's true. I was able to learn a lot of the numbers by going to Lowe's and any other of these places with the contractor and with, my other project manager or worker that I have on the project. And that's how I was able to learn a lot of the numbers. But then I don't know if anyone else has experienced this. Sometimes you get contractors that loves to give excuses, and how do you push that boundary and that barrier, although they've signed a contract?
They're terminated.
Terminated.
I don't take excuses. The first excuse that I hear, hey, we're having a conversation. The second excuse, you're terminated. We don't have no conversation. I don't go back and forth with contractors. I'm not going to pay you and beg you to work. I don't do that. So they only get one time. Like again, they show up late, they're penalized $500. No ifs and buts about it. The second time you're terminated, don't even show up to my site. And if you show up to my site, now I'm going to get the law enforcement involved, and I'm going to give you a trespass, right? I don't play around with general contractors. I don't. And I tell my project manager, we're not playing around with general contractors. I don't, because sometimes they are a waste, and they will delay your process and they will make you lose money. I don't give them no 1 and 2 days. I don't have no conversations with them. Will you please do this? No, you're going to do the work or you're not. But I'm not going to beg you and pay you. We don't do those.
Well, thank you for all your insight.
But I'm telling you, when you're working in the field with these guys, I'm telling you, they will run over you because they know that you will not get in their face and tell them what they need to do. I tell them coming out the gate, I'm not an easy person to work with because my projects has to be done. They have to be done on time, and they have to be done with a level of excellence. And if you cannot deliver, I do not want you working with me, and I don't want you wasting my time. Now, this is your chance to tell me if you are up for bad or not. If you come up for bad, there are going to be consequences if you don't show up like you're supposed to. And it's a conversation that's going to be had. I have those hard conversations. I do. But I'm not begging them, though.
Can I ask a quick question?
No problem.
So sometimes contractors like to start projects. They'll start one part and then skip to another and then skip to another. How do you control and keep them reined in to say, look, we agreed to focus on this. Don't start working on plumbing when we said that the roof has to be done first. How do you control that?
My project manager.
Okay.
If we're in phase 1, we're in phase 1. There's no starting anything in phase 2. And again, you going to check on your project to make sure nothing extra has been done if you can't afford a project manager, to make sure nothing extra has been done. But you also need to put it, if you're not going to be able to hire a project manager, you need to make sure that your contract is air sealed. This is what we will be doing. So when phase one comes out, have them sign a portion of the phase one. These are the things that need to be completed on the day. This is Monday. Bam, bam, bam needs to be done. On Monday, at the end of the day on Monday, when you go out to your site and you visit your site, everything that's on that checklist should be done. If everything on that checklist is not being done, they need to be fined or they need to be terminated. One or the other.
Okay. Now, do you create an LLC for each project?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. I don't commingle any of my projects, because if I ever have a lawsuit on any one of my projects, I don't want them going after all of my projects. So if you go after 123 Main, the incident on 123 Main Street, you can go after 123 Main Street, but you won't go after 123 Main Street, 456 Main Street. So one LLC for each project.
Okay.
And that's how you should own your properties too. They should be in different LLCs. I like what you said regarding the project timeline. So project timelines are extremely important. Many times your project manager, and if you don't have a project manager, your contractor can provide you with that. Your contractor builds in delays in that timeline. So many times they gauge it. Thank you. Many times they gauge it so that they can finish early and, what is that? Overproduce than what they're telling you. So you want to make sure that they provide you with the timeline, because you can always say, well, this is the timeline that you provided. You're not honoring that. I'm glad you referenced about how long your project, that your property manager does multiple projects at one time. So do they ever leave one project, go to the next, and then they just kind of go back and forth, but they're still keeping eyes on it? Okay, so I wanted to ask you that. So with how long are you estimating your typical project to last? Are you looking at 6 to 8 weeks? Are you looking at 90 days?
So it depends. The ones that were in the historical district, they were heavy lifts. So we had structural issue, we had foundation issues. So they were more of a heavy lift. So they were an 8-month flip.
Ooh,
right?
Okay.
So with that 8-month flip, the project manager, again, he's on site and he floats between my projects daily, because he's responsible for shutting down each one of my projects every day, setting the alarm to make sure that my house is protected while I'm not there or he's not. My GC never sets my alarm in my house. It's only my project manager. And I do because GCs have been known for going in my projects and stealing material. So now my project manager arms all of our homes before the end of the day, and he disarms them first thing in the morning before the GC gets there.
Do you ever put cameras on your property as well?
It's cameras everywhere in my property, inside and outside. I want to see you show up like the time you told me you were supposed to show up. My project manager has gotten to a habit. He'll go to the camera. Hey, I'm here, boss. I'm here. So he's gotten to the habit where he can show up on the camera. Hey, I'm here. But he's a jokester like that. But I did that because some days if my project manager, because he has to drop his child off. So some days he may be running a little behind, but my GCs, they're always there on time.
Okay. So, and how long do you typically hold the funds for your investors?
So on which side? On the acquisition or the construction side?
Either, both sides. Like, how do you have all of that designed?
So on the acquisition side, all of the funds come in. So we come in 2 or 3 days prior to closing. So all funds are wired into the title company for closing for the acquisition side. And then on the construction side, once we've completed all of the gutting, then we start asking for the draws. So we're responsible for getting all of the home cleaned out and the dumpsters and all of that stuff, getting the project started. Then we start bringing in investors on the construction side. So for the whole entire project, it could be 6 to 8 months that we're holding funds. And then at the end of that project, whatever we have came to agreement with our investors on, that's what we pay them at the end. So we don't pay them anything monthly. We do the whole time, and they get a balloon payment at the end with their initial investment back plus the interest.
Okay.
So that's how we pay them.
So when you pay them interest, it's interest on their funds, or do you pay them a percentage of the sale?
No, we pay them interest.
Okay. What is your interest?
Most of my guys are asking for interest. They're not even asking for a percentage of the sale. They're asking for interest on their money.
Okay. And typically, are you doing the interest rate based upon whatever the Treasury Department creates, or the investors, not investors, the lenders? Like, how are you doing?
The lenders.
Okay.
So I built relationship with these lenders, and I've been with them for a while. So I know a lot of people tell me I'm crazy, but if I don't have to go get hard money, I'm gonna pay it, right? So my guys normally ask between 15 to 20% on their money. Okay. So I'm normally paying them 15 to 20% back on the money that they loan me. So if they give me $100,000, they get 20% back plus the $100,000, the initial investment.
Okay, makes sense. Okay, awesome. And then, do you ever finance when I'm talking about the traditional finance, do you ever finance any of your projects, or is it all based upon the people that you know?
I don't have to finance now, thank God. Yeah. I just use all private money now. And so I'm constantly building up relationships with new private money lenders. And so they're coming in. Some of them are starting on what we consider the EMD side. So just to see how it is to work with Avriel. And then they move on to the acquisition, or they move on to the transactional funding. So I have individuals that come in and they sit on each side of me wherever I need them, because they just want to work with me. So now I have investors that are now fighting, like, when are you getting your next deal? Like, I've been sitting here waiting. I got this investor that came from Wall Street. He was like, I've been sitting here waiting for like 2 months now. Like, everybody else and got their shot at the deal. Like, when am I going to get my shot at the deal? So we're working on one right now with him that we're going to be closing out in Houston. So I'm super excited about that. But yeah, it's I can't, because if I won't put my money in the deal, I'm not going to put my investment in the deal. So it has to make sense.
So it sounds like, based upon the numbers that you've already gotten, and this is my last question, based upon the numbers you've already shared with us, it sounds like your flips have been very profitable. By you paying, because it sounds like you're paying premium fees to your vendors, to your investors, how is your return on these investments and purchasing and doing the work?
So since the beginning of the year, all of the deals that we have flipped and we have completed have been 6-figure flips for me. So I've made 6 figures off of every flip that I've actually done. Okay. It's been very profitable. Even though the money that I'm paying out, people like, that is so crazy. You're paying out 15 to 20% to investors, but the numbers still work.
Right.
The numbers still work. My 2 flips in Dallas, I'm going to net almost $300,000 from each one of them. The numbers still work. So why not even pay the investors back?
Right. Okay, so this is my real last question.
No, you're fine.
How are you underwriting these opportunities? Because you have to be, not only are you running a tight ship, your numbers have got to be pretty spot on, give or take a few. But how are you underwriting these opportunities?
So I'm leaning a lot on my realtor. So my CMA come in. The CMAs that come in, she runs a really, really tight CMA for me. And so we're looking at homes that sold in the last 90 days. If nothing is sold in the last 90 days, we're going back. So the 6 months. And then if I can't find anything that has been flipped in that area in the last 9 months, I'm calling in an appraisal. So I order appraisal for it just to make sure that I'm spot on for my numbers. And so people are like, oh my God, wasting money. I'm not wasting money. This is an investment for me, right? It takes money to make money.
Yeah.
So calling in an appraisal. And so I'm looking at my CMA and I'm running the numbers off of what my contractors are giving me, or my specialties, my HVAC, electrical, roofer. I'm running off of that. And then I'm sitting down with my general contractor and we're running really, really tight numbers. If there's any open houses in that area, I'm looking at everything that could potentially cause this ARV to shift at any time. So we look at all of that and then we do a comparison, and then I come up with my material list. So I'm going to my vendors and asking them for a strict material list. They can't change prices on me in the middle of the deal, right? So my material list is important to me at this point in time. The labor is going to be important to me at this point in time, and even the area, if anything shifts in that area. So that's how I'm looking at everything, and I compile it all together. And then this is how we come up with our ARV for the home that we're actually flipping. We do a lot of work prior to going into a deal, because we have to make sure that it will work. And I always said that I wanted to make at least $60,000, but God has been so good. He was like 60,000, like, so, but yeah,
That's the increase.
Listen, he will. He definitely will. So the ones that we have came in contact with, and that's why we don't have to do so many, right? You see a lot of people that's doing multiple ones because they're not able to make six figures. So we do 2 and 3 flips. I mean, it's close to $700,000 off of these 2 flips, and we still got another one in the pipeline. So
that's awesome.
Find that area, you find that niche where you can actually make a lot of money. You don't have to do multiple, you don't have to do 11 deals a year. You can do 2 or 3 deals and you'll be okay. And you can take that money and deploy it into something else.
Awesome. Awesome. Does anyone else have any questions before we wrap it up? Got 5 seconds.
Can I just, no, this is my real last question. Have you seen, can you just give a feel, because you're like boots on the ground. Has the market shifted in any way in the past, I don't know, 6 months or so?
It definitely has shifted. That's why it's so important to know your numbers when you're going into a flip. Location is going to be important when you're buying a flip. Knowing your material cost is going to be important with buying a flip, but the market has definitely shifted. It's going to take right now a unique type of person to buy in this market. People are still buying, right? People are still buying in this market. Your realtor is who you're going to really and truly be leaning on a lot for this market, because our realtor does a lot of our marketing for our projects. So they bring the individuals that are wanting to buy in this market. People still qualifying for loans. So when people are like, I wouldn't be doing no flips right now. Well, that's you. I'm still going to do flips in this market because my realtor has a list and she building connections with other realtors. And so they'll be like, hey, I got someone that just got approved for $1 million, but they want to be in this area. Soon as we hear that, we're going in that market to look for a home so we can actually flip. So we can actually service the ones that are looking for that. So your realtor is going to be someone that you need to really and truly lean on, but this market is shifting and it'll continue to shift because there's going to be another interest rate hike, right? So it's going to make it more difficult in order to do more deals. And so this is why we're moving into the creative strategies. I'm using a lot of creative strategies also to do a lot of deals. So I'm doing a lot of novations. And novation means that I'm agreeing with the homeowner that I may not even take out a loan, right? So I don't need somebody sitting on the acquisition side for my projects now. All I need is construction, because this homeowner has agreed to work with me for me to flip he or she's house. And at the end, I'm in a contract with him. At the end, he gets paid. So I didn't have to raise capital for the acquisition. I only had to raise capital for the construction. So now I just cut myself out of everybody else that's out here playing in the field that has to qualify for a loan. I don't have to qualify for a loan because I just entered into a creative deal with the homeowner. I built it with he or she, and now we're flipping.
Now, I swear I'm gonna close my camera, but because I like to get in the weeds. One last question. So you know how when you order material, is your PM, is that person responsible to ensure that you're getting what you ordered, that the material is there? Are they the gatekeeper for the materials?
Yep, I order the materials because we have a credit card that we use. He also has a credit card just in case they need something on site.
Okay.
But I order all of everything when everything comes in. Most of our stuff, we have it delivered. We don't have him pick up stuff. So
okay.
And he does the inventory for the material.
So you're ordering it yourself. The contractor is not doing that job. So that's why you're able to fire him moment's notice, because he's not even ordering anything. Awesome. Okay, love it. Okay.
Yeah, he ain't the contractor's just working. That's all they doing is working.
Okay.
They just need to show up and work. That's all they do.
Thank you so much.
No problem.
Well, thank you, Avriel, so much. You know, I adore you. So I love hearing you speak. We're very thankful, Sonia, Lacey, and I, we're so thankful that you agreed to come on.
No
Thank
problem.
you so
Thank you
much.
for having me.
Absolutely.
Thank you for having me. And if y'all have any questions, please let me know. I'm on social media. I reply back to my stuff. It's not my VA that replies back. I reply back to all my messages because I don't want nobody replying back to my people. So I reply back to everybody. So if you have any questions, please reach out. Thank you again, Alicia. It was great speaking with you ladies, and I look forward to speaking with you in the future.
And Alicia, we're gonna send the recording out to the ladies on the call, or?
Yes.
Okay, great.
Yes, we
All right.
will.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Yes.
No problem.
And so as we traditionally do before we close out, we want to leave you with this quote from Audrey Hepburn. I believe in being strong when everything seems to be going wrong. I believe that happy girls are the prettiest girls. I believe that tomorrow is another day, and I believe in miracles. So make sure that you believe in yourself and that the vision that God is giving you is for you, and just walk out that plan.
Yes.
And Abby, this is for you.
Excellent job. Excellent.
I love it. Thank you so much.
And I like you to do a presentation. I like the fact there was a round table, Harkness type of thing where you know everyone can ask questions, and you know a lot of different questions here. So I love this approach and the way you handle it. Fantastic.
Absolutely. I told Alicia it was gonna be a fire chat because I'm doing a lot of these, and most of the time I get through the presentation, they can't even answer the questions because everybody's ready to go at that point in time.
Yep.
It's like, why not just come in and just answer questions, whatever questions they may have.
Good job. Thank you.
No problem.
And thank you to all the ladies that hung in there too.
All right. Thank you, ladies. Y'all enjoy the rest of the day.
Capital raise, you guys, at 2:00.
Yeah.
You can make it. Thank you.
Bye, everybody.